Supplier diversity program administrators may not understand the economic impact in dollars these programs have on their local economy. Supplier diversity programs are necessary to help build and sustain businesses. It's equally important to know the program's actual monetary, employment, and fiscal impacts to the local economy. This brief presentation will address questions you may have regarding economic impact analysis and its uses. So let's start with this first question. Have you ever wondered how much money flows through your local economy based on your supplier diversity spend? The method by which you can understand and recognize how money flows is with an economic impact analysis. This specific type of analysis examines the effect of money spent with minority, women, small, and disadvantaged firms. Economic impact analysis measures economic activity, creation of jobs, the wages paid, and the tax dollars that are realized by local, state, and federal governments.
In this illustration, we give an example of a simple contractual impact. Let's say, for example, your agency issues a contract to a minority-owned general contractor. Note, this could be any industry. The awarded contract is the direct impact. The general contractor then hires a plumbing company to furnish and install fixtures. Of course, that plumbing company purchases its materials and supplies from a local warehouse. This represents the indirect impact of the contract awarded to the minority-owned general contractor. Therefore, the induced impact are the wages that are paid to existing and new employees, which are spent on groceries, housing, and other goods and services. This is how the spend with diverse suppliers ripples throughout the community. What does an economic impact analysis look like? An economic impact analysis produces multiple output variables that can provide different insights depending upon the focus of the reader. At the heart of an economic impact analysis is the fact that it provides a comprehensive analysis of each variable. This sample chart uses spending with diverse firms at $5 million per year and communicates the direct, indirect, and induced impact of that $5 million per year over a 5-year period. If you spend $5 million in 2017, for example, 135 jobs are supported, $2.7 million in tax revenues generated, and so on. $5 million spent in 2019 supports 141 jobs, with $2.8 million in tax revenue generated. In total, over 5 years, if you spend $25 million, the local economy realizes $67 million in the value of goods and services produced, $50 million in wages, and $13.6 million in tax revenue. Are you curious to learn how much money flows through your local economy by way of your supplier diversity spend? To whom should you communicate the economic impact of your supplier diversity program? Your supplier diversity program does not and should not exist in a silo where you or your department are the only persons to know its impact. Because the $5 million per year spent in the previous example touches so many people, it is critical that that impact is broadly communicated. An economic impact analysis report can be a tool to reach a broader audience. For example, the community at large enjoys the increase in jobs, increase in wages, and tax revenue for programs and services that they receive. Stakeholders, such as elected officials, can use the economic impact analysis to make decisions and understand the benefit of supply diversity programs. So as you can see, multiple groups benefit from supply diversity programs and will support the program when they understand its impact to the local economy. One common question from stakeholders is, well, how much will a program cost, or how much should we invest? And what they're really asking is, what are your program's return on investment? Organizational leaders want assurances that money spent to enhance or scale up a program yield results that align with their goals. For public agencies, that return on investment can be by way of increased tax revenue, lower unemployment, etc. Annual tax impact results can be used to advocate for supplier diversity programs. Using the previous example of $5 million per year spent with diverse suppliers and assuming a $1 million per year program cost for that 5-year period, the return on the program cost investment is 272%. In other words, for every $1 in tax revenue invested, the supplier diversity program returned $2.72 in tax revenue back to the economy. And the total program cost over the 5-year period is recouped in only 2 years.
In a few brief slides, we've highlighted how an economic impact analysis can, 1, illustrate the effect and the benefit of your program. In our example, we illustrated how $5 million in spend has an impact beyond the initial $5 million. This analysis can determine the efficacy of your program in the overall local economy. 2, an economic impact analysis provides actual data to promote the infusion of dollars, which can lead to increased economic growth. This data can also determine the impact of the dollars spent when you meet your program goals, or if you don't meet your program goals in terms of spend. And lastly, the results of an economic impact analysis can be a tool to gain support for your program's continuation or expansion. Supplier diversity programs are at risk of being underfunded, but we all know that supplier diversity programs are critical to the revitalization of local, state, and national economies. Commissioning an economic impact analysis of your supplier diversity program will assist you in creating strategies that will positively impact your local economy. Thank you for listening.